Hey, what is going on, Geminis? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. I am going to be using the Runic Tarot. With all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what's going on for Geminis? What message do we have for Geminis? All right, Geminis. So the first thing I see, Geminis, this is someone I feel like you already know. And I feel like with this person, first and foremost, I'm going to mention it because, I have to mention it. We have the Tower card. I feel like there's a lot of chaotic energy with you and this person. But even though there's this chaos, it's almost like we embrace the chaos with this person. You have an intense connection with this person. Very intense. But with that chaotic energy, it's like I feel like there's a lot of love between the two of you, but there's also, how else to explain this other than say it's a love-hate relationship. I feel like you hate the way you love this person sometimes. Even when you're mad at them, you still love them. And I feel like you're mad, it happens more than you'd like to admit. And it's the same for them. No matter how far you get from each other, I do feel like there is a hot and cold energy that comes in between the two of you. There's moments when you guys go cold, and there's maybe no communication for a minute, and then all of a sudden when something happens, they're the first person you want to go tell. When anything happens, it's like this is the person that you like. No matter what's going on with you, like I said, we have the World card. You keep coming back to each other, and there's a reason for that. There's a very good reason for that, and I feel like nobody gets you like this person does, and nobody gets them like you do. And I feel like you have this bond, and it's a lifelong bond. There's a very intense connection that you have with this person. Like I said, it's very. Even though there's moments when you can't stand them, you still trust them. It's still the person you go to when you hear something. You hear some juicy gossip, or something happens to you, or just even when you see something funny. Like I just see this connection as in my head, what I'm picturing is like you're pissed at each other, but then you see this funny meme and you text it to them, and it starts a conversation. Because you see it and you're thinking, first thing you think of is them. You're thinking about them and only them, and they're thinking about you and only you. And like I said, I'm just, for some reason that came to my head. You just see this funny ass meme and you're just like, they think that's hilarious. I feel like you just get each other on a level that is that next level shit. You have a strong friendship, and that's what I feel like is the core of this intense connection, is the fact that this is like your best friend. And there's going to be moments when you can't stand each other, but you still talk to each other. There's going to be moments when you have this, maybe this huge blowout, but then 10 minutes later, you're over it. But one thing I see with this connection, it's never boring. And I feel like that's why maybe you're so drawn to it, because Geminis don't like to be bored. But it's always one, it's always, there's always the chase. And I don't feel this on one side or the other. It's almost like on both sides. It's like you piss them off, you chase them. They piss you off, they chase you. Vice versa. And I feel like I said, I mean, there's that trust that you have with this person. Like I said, with the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords in reverse, like you're not afraid to say anything to this person, good, bad, or ugly. And that's why you have such a strong connection with this person, because I feel like you don't feel that comfort level with anybody else. And it's not that you're not comfortable with anybody else, but you're just not comfortable at this point where you can just say whatever the hell you want to this person. And, it just, like I said, you don't hold anything back with this person. This person allows you to be everything you want to be. They accept every part of you, and you accept every part of them, even the parts that suck. They allow you to let go of that bullshit. Let you be fearless. Let you just be you. And I feel like that's the strongest part of this connection, is the fact that this person, embraces who you are. You don't have to change for this person. They don't ask you to change. They don't expect you to change. They don't want you to change. And I feel like that's why we keep coming back to each other, because we have that balanced energy. You balance each other out. I feel like this person's calmer and more collected. And I feel like it complements you very well. I mean, that tempers that Sagittarius energy. We all know about the Sagittarius-Gemini connection. But like I said, this person nurtures who you are. They love who you are. And I feel like it allows you both to be very honest with each other. And sometimes that honesty can piss each other off. And that's why we get that chaotic energy. It's, and not to sound weird, but it's almost like I feel like sometimes when you argue with this person, or you get in a fight with this person, it feels like very, I don't know how to say this without sounding super weird. It's almost like a brother and sister type bickering. But you get over it, is what I mean by that. I don't mean like a brother and sister. I just mean like for instance, me and my sister fight like cats and dogs, but we always got each other's back when it comes to anybody else. Anybody else steps in and was like, no, shut that shit down. Or I know how far to push her, and she knows how far to push me, but we don't go past that. We just understand each other. And no matter how much we piss each other off, we get over it. And I feel like that's what I mean by that, is like they know how to push your buttons, and they push them. Oh, they push them. And I feel like you do the same for them, so don't get all high and mighty on me. But like I said, I mean, it's a strong bond that you have with this person. It's an intense connection, and sometimes it's hard to understand why you're so drawn to them and why they're so drawn to you. And I feel like the foundation is laid. We have the Four of Wands. You have a strong foundation. And I feel like this intense connection you have, that's the thing with intense connections. It can be intense to every extreme. You can get to the point where you get so pissed off at this person you've never been pissed off at somebody that much before in your life. And then there's moments when you're so in love with this person that you've never been that in love before. And it's that partnership, that bond, that strength, that nurturing energy, that protector, the nurturer coming together. side by side. You just embrace each other's strengths. Like I said, I mean, this person doesn't change you. You don't want to change them. It's just embracing who you are. And who you are keeps bringing you back to them. I feel like it's a matter of you both become one to a point where it feels almost like you're missing something when you're not around them. Even when you're pissed at them. That's the funny thing. That's what makes this connection so intense, is the fact that even when you don't want to be around this person, you want to be around them. And like I said, I mean, I feel like we can go without talking to each other, and then all of a sudden, when anything comes up, you're thinking of that person. When something good happens to you, something bad happens to you, you think about that person, and then you open up communication with them, and it keeps coming back to that. Not all relationships are cookie cutter. I feel like a lot of things in the world, sometimes we compare our relationship to other people's relationships, and I feel like that's one thing. My biggest piece of advice for everybody out there is don't ever do that. Because you're not like anybody else. They're not like anybody else. So how the hell are both of you together going to be like anybody else? Don't compare your relationship to anybody else, and don't let anybody compare your relationship to theirs. It's different. You're built different. But like I said, I mean, we got the High Priestess. Your intuition keeps drawing you back to this person. It keeps telling you, what are they up to? Even when you're pissed off, you want to know what they're doing. You're just drawn to them, and it's okay. Like I said, what I see is just two people that this is how they like it. Not every connection is going to be the same, but I feel like your happiest moments are your happiest moments with this person. This connection is deeper than either one of you realize. And I feel like you continuously grow into each other, and you will continuously grow into each other. And I don't feel like the dynamic, I'm going to be honest, there's a little bit of toxicity, but I feel like some people actually embrace the toxicity with someone. If you've ever thought of shit, this connection is toxic, but you keep going back to it. There's a level of toxicity we're allowed to have. I honestly believe that, and a lot of people say that I'm wrong, but I feel like certain connections have toxicity, but you're allowed a certain level. Obviously, if you're beating each other up, or you're cheating on each other, or abusing each other, or whatever happens, obviously that's too toxic. But I feel like there's an acceptable level of toxicity in some relationships. Some can't handle it. Some, honestly, they can't. But I feel like some, it's like you challenge each other. You push each other. But like I said, how far to push the person without them breaking. And there's going to be times that you challenge that. But I feel like at the end of the day, you bring out the best in each other. You bring out things in each other that no one else can bring out. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's all intertwined. And I feel like at the end of the day, I mean, they fill your cups up. And that's why you keep coming back to each other, because you fill each other's cups. You make each other happy. This is your best friend. The world keeps bringing you back together. They have an important, you're important to them, and they're important to you. They have that authoritative figure in your life. That mental compatibility. I mean, I feel like you're both very intelligent, and I feel like you both push each other, but I feel like at the end of the day, you make each other stronger, and I feel like that's why you keep coming back to each other. This is why, you can't quit each other. And there's going to be moments where you're like, shit, I wish I could quit this person because they pissed me off. But then something happens and you're talking to them again. And we're back to happy land. I get this. I get it. Absolutely 100% get it. But like I said, this person doesn't make you feel like you have to be anybody else. They make you feel comfortable in your own skin, and I feel like that's part of the draw. Like, no one's ever made you feel this comfortable within yourself. You know, sometimes we get with people and they try to change us. This person doesn't try to change you. They like who you are, and that's why they like you. That's why they love you. Because they enjoy you. And yes, they may piss you off. Yes, you may piss them off. But we're going to do two different extremes. I mean, you piss them off. They piss you off like no one else has ever pissed you off, but they make you feel good like no one's ever made you feel good. And I feel like when it comes to true love, I mean, this is definitely some soulmate, twin flame type energy, but I feel like I see you continuing on. I feel like this is always gonna, we gotta embrace it. Just like we embrace each other, we gotta embrace it and just understand it. And like I said, I feel like there's moments when this person pisses you off and you don't want to be around them, and they go away. But they always come back. And the same for you. But you're sitting, like I said, with that Emperor and Empress. You're sitting side by side. This person doesn't make you feel any less than them or any more. You're on the same page, you're side by side. You're not walking behind this person. You're not walking in front of this person. You're walking beside this person. And I feel like you can continue to walk through life with this person. Because at the end of the day, they're your best friend. And you love them. And they love you. And like I said, I mean, there's an acceptable amount of toxicity in a relationship. I don't care what anybody tells me. There's an acceptable amount. Now, the scale of how much is acceptable is on you and on them. That's for you guys to decide. But don't let anybody else tell you. Because that shit, letting other people have a say in your relationship is so toxic. It's even more toxic than people know. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. With this person, we have Aries, we have Sagittarius, we have Gemini and Aquarius, we have some Libra, some Capricorn, Pisces, and Scorpio. If anybody that's been following me for a while, and I mean, you guys know, and I probably don't have to say it, but you guys know, me and Rose have some toxic moments. But we accept each other. At the end of the day, we accept each other. We keep getting drawn back to each other. Because I feel like sometimes I fight the connection. And there's sometimes when she fights the connection because it took us a long time to understand and embrace what we have with each other. We make each other better. We challenge each other. And sometimes that shit is painful. Sometimes you'll meet someone that calls you out on your shit and maybe you're not ready to hear it yet. But I mean, I feel like I said, I feel like there's an acceptable amount of toxicity in some relationships. Some can't handle it. Like I said, some can't handle it. And that's okay. Every relationship, just like every person, is absolutely different. And the thing is, not that everybody does this, but a lot of people, and I know from experience, what a lot of people do is they have friends that they, their best friend, and they go to their best friend and they say, okay, well, they're pissing me off. This is why they're pissing me off. And they tell their friends the bad shit that's going on. because they want to vent to somebody. But they don't always tell the good shit. So that friend has a very, very limited idea of what's going on between the two of you. So then for them to give you advice without all the information, it's kind of it's kind of not, I mean, it's not helpful. Like if like for instance, my sister, she used to always vent to me about her boyfriend, but she never told me the good things. She'd always come to me and tell me the bad things about him. Whenever he pissed her off, she'd tell me all about it and all the shit that he does. She never told me about any of the good stuff he does. So I had a very skewed perception of the person. And I always tell her, I said, why don't you just leave him? If he's an asshole, just leave him. And she's like, oh, well, no, he's not always that way. I'm like, but that's all you ever tell me. And then you ask my opinion. It's like giving me half a puzzle and ask me to figure out the picture. I mean, I can probably wing it, but if you're only giving me half of it, then me guessing is the best I can do. And I feel like a lot of people do that, and it's human. I mean, I've done it too. I've complained about someone I was with, and I've complained about Rose to people. And, but I've learned as I grow that if you're going to tell the story, tell the whole story. You can't go tell your friend the bad shit about somebody and then expect them to have a good opinion of them. But like I said, we keep getting drawn back to each other, so I get this reading 100%. But I like it. There's moments when we're pissed at each other and we don't talk to each other, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, something comes up, and then we start talking to each other, then it's all gone. It's all water under the bridge, and we get over it. And I need someone that's going to get over it, because I do have a fiery side. Sometimes some couples, I'm not saying this is anything to do with the read, but if it resonates with you, then so be it. But some couples, they like to argue. They like to have a good argument. And I feel like it gets a lot. If you can have someone at home that you can come home with and you can argue with them, but it not be personal, it gets some of the, sometimes it gets a little bit of aggression out of you. There's times when I come, I'd go to work and I'd come home and I'd be in a pissy mood, and, instead of biting somebody's head off at work or arguing with somebody at work that probably wouldn't get over it, I come home and I can get that out, and it's toxic a little bit, but it's almost like therapy as well. I mean, you can come home and you have a little bit of a fight, and she doesn't take it personal. We're over it. I feel better. She feels better. I mean, I prefer the other stress release that you get with your person. That works too. But like I said, it's we're all a bit quirky, and if we find someone that matches our quirkiness, it's nice. It's a nice feeling to have someone that just gets you. They don't try to change you. That's one thing I can say about Rose, is she's never really tried to change me, except for sometimes she tries to get the best out of me, and I try to get the best out of her, because I know it's there and she knows it's there. But other than that, it's not changing who we are. It's just helping each other level up. And I feel like we've been doing that a lot lately, and I'm actually, that's been really helpful. I feel like for a long time we were fighting it, and now that we're embracing it, things are going really well. So I'll stop you yapping. That's what I have for you. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.